Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudos Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today is going to be a talk about what I've done the last couple days. Today's video is going to be about a purchase that I made at a place called Second and Charles, where they sell, buy, and trade books, games. They have a whole bunch of stuff in their store. They've got t-shirts. What the heck are those things called? Bobble Pops? The Pops. They have those things. They have records. They have a whole bunch of stuff. So my husband wanted to go in there and look for some books. So I went to look for crochet or knitting, loom knitting, anything like that related. I found 3 books, which will be in, it won't show the whole book, but it'll be the icon for today's video. I am recording this on Sunday, October 27th. Can't believe October's almost done with already. You will see this on Monday, October 28th. So I'm going to try to hopefully not show you everything with each of these 3 books. I couldn't find this section because they rearranged since the last time I was there. The last time they had all their crafting stuff in the front of the store. Now they've moved it back into the nonfiction section. And maybe it was there before, I just didn't know it. I don't know. I asked the last time I was in there before I moved out of Texas, where they had their crafting stuff, and they showed me where it was at, and it wasn't that. They moved everything around, so I had to play search and find. And then, of course, as soon as I started finding stuff, I kept finding more and more and more. So the first book is a book that is very old. I'm really surprised. It's in pretty good condition for how old it is. It's called Stitch by Stitch. It's a home library of crochet. I think it's knitting after that. It's kind of worn out. Okay, a home library of sewing, knitting, crochet, and needlecraft. It's kind of faded, but for as old as this book is, I can't believe it's still in this good of a condition. I got this for $1.95, and when I was looking this book up online to see if anybody had it, if it was still in production, they were selling it for like $16 and up. Some people had it less than that. Some people had it more. But this is a very interesting book. So I looked here, and I will show you this in a second. This was copywritten in 1986, and it goes over the different contents, what you'll learn. And what I think is cool is, so they have an introduction to sewing, homemaker, shoestring. I don't even know what the heck the shoestring is, but there's a few things on that in here. So it's basically the shoestring ideas are long on imagination, short on expense. What could be more appealing? So they're quick projects that don't cost a lot of money to make. Now, that was back in 1986. Who knows now? And then, of course, the first one that they have is on, I'm going to try to do this without showing too much stuff, is on crochet. Talks about how to do a single crochet. Now, it's interesting on how they said making a single crochet fabric. I've never heard of that like that. I've heard of making a single crochet swatch, but not fabric. And then it gives you how to join a new ball of yarn, how to do your stitch gauge, how to keep your ends, your edging neat and straight. And then at the end of it, there's a pattern for these pillows here that uses just single crochet. And then it goes into the half double crochet. And at the end of that, there's this cute little, it's called the Cozy Baby Bag. Now, I'm going to try to cover up as much as I can. It's a little sleeper, but back then they called it the cozy baby bag. And then that goes into making double crochet. And it gives you a whole, this one has a lot more patterns that you can do with double crochet. So it's got the scarves with the pockets. Scarf with the pocket. Here. Up here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing this the right way. And there's even one with a hood on it. And it tells you how many, obviously like a pattern would. And then it goes into how to achieve the correct gauge, making triple crochet, and then it gives you a pattern for this cozy cover up after the triple. And I think there was one other one on here. Yeah, this one here. It's in pink. I can't really bend this backwards. Oh, there we go. So you guys can't really get the... To me, they look like the pink one looks like a smock. Let me know what you think in the comments section about that one. And then it goes into knitting. And it talks about casting on with 2 needles. And how you can do that. And then it gives you the garter stitch pattern, how to do garter stitch. Joining a new ball, joining with a back stitch seam. It tells you about how to do all of that, joining with a flat seam, binding off, and then it gives you all these, I'm going to try to cover up this, all these patterns for knitting. I think it was really interesting that it gave you patterns that you can do after each different stitch that you get taught. And it even has the diagrams if you're doing certain things like that. Cover up, there was a diagram, and the cozy baby bag had a diagram to use as well. And then the stockinette stitch was the next one. And at the end of that one was how to do a sweater. With the stockinette stitch. And then it goes into doing the reverse stockinette stitch. I don't know how to do that. And then it's called the Pretty Casual Vest. I don't think this book has a copyright anymore. I did try to find that out. And I couldn't find anything on this book other than who published, where it was published, how many volumes they had. Oh, this is volume 1, by the way. I'll show you that here in a moment. And then ribbing, how to do ribbing with knitting. And double ribbing. And then at the very end of that, they have a blanket that you can make for a child. A baby. And then it goes into sewing. And I'm sorry, I didn't show you guys the knitting one. I'll go back and show you that real quick. And see, here's the shoestring thing here. Bright braids, shoestring. They don't have anything like that with knitting or crocheting yet, but I will. Let's see. To the knitting, there's the knitting. Okay. And this is the beginning of the knitting course. Tells you everything you need to know about the needles, the pins, the markers, I should say, not pins, but there's stitch holders, cable needles, circular needles, all that's on there. And most of this has about how to size your how to size your fabric for different things, and what needle and thread numbers you should use with different types of fabric. That's interesting. Okay. And then I will show you, I don't know if this one really has, it tells you how to do a simple hem, you know, basic things for people who want to learn how to sew, patchwork, pockets. There's a lot, there's like, let's see. So at the very end of it, they teach you how to make this top here. It's a raglan blouse, directions for making. And they do they do have a bunch of pictures in here. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, they have like 6 volumes, and each one has different things in it, but I will double check that and I will let you know. And then there's another one that's a raglan sleeved blouse. The other one was short sleeves, I do believe. And then it gets into needlework. It almost looks like canvas work, to be honest. If you see these pictures over on this side, the stuff that they're using looks almost like canvas, but it's not. It's like that stuff that you put under rugs to keep it from slipping. I don't know, but that's pretty cool. It teaches you how to do different stitches. There's a basket weave stitch, a continental stitch, cool coasters. Here's a that's the first pattern that they give you after learning the first 2. How to make a pillow cover, a needlepoint pillow cover is the next course. Some of this is using a sewing machine to sew things together. How to accent your color, like in that picture. Let's see. Quilting, best way to how to quilt. Here's a soft setting placemats that you can make after learning that. And then on the next page is a shoestring. It's called Lavender Blue. These pretty patchwork balls hold lavender to bring a sweet fragrance to your closet. Well, to me that seems like mothballs. But you're using quilt. Okay, so at the very end, after they give you all the other courses, they have extra special things. And this here, you learn how to do all of that in the next few pages. The outfit, the bunny, the socks, all of that. Now, if you just want to do 1 or 2 of the things, like the bunny or the socks, you know. And then there's this one, the overdressed country style dress. And it does give you measurements, so if you need to make it larger, you can. It also tells you what materials you'll be using, and as well in the patterns that are in the extra spots. All right, and then there's a shoestring, hang up your washing. And then there's another one here. It's a man appeal sweater using the basket weave stitch. I'm sure you could make it for women too, but you just have to know how to adjust for sizing for those more experienced crocheters, because it gives you the size to fit 38 inches. Length is 27 inches. And sleeves are 19 1/4 inches. but I'm not sure. And again, it gives you the diagram of how to put everything together too. And you can, I'm sure if the material that's no longer available, like the yarn, you can always go onto the Yarn Substitute website to find out what would be similar to that, if you can find 100% match or the closest. All right. And then another shoestring knitting needle fold away using fabric. That's actually pretty cool. You probably could do something like that for crochet hooks too. You just have to adjust sizing. And then there's this one, woven crochet cardigan. And again, it tells you measurements for different sizes. And if you need directions for the larger sizes are in brackets. So if you need a larger size, it's in the brackets. I don't know exactly what size it goes up to, but... Alright, and then they have... This is the same picture that's on the front of the book. This is for knitting. And it is called Many a Slip. It's an overall slip stitch pattern. Okay. And it gives more detailed pictures, diagrams, all that nice stuff. This is really pretty. I would have to figure out how to do this next one in crochet or similar to crochet. It's a wrapping up baby. It's a baby blanket. I'm sure somebody could probably figure out how to do that in crochet. I might be able to figure it out depending on how many. 217 stitches. Okay. I could probably do this on a loom as loom knitting and just make sure that I only have 217 stitches. Because that would call for really big needles or a big circular needle. Okay. Family Fair Isle sweater. Okay. Errands for the children. I'm guessing it's Aran weight. Let's see. You can make pockets for them and all that stuff. Add zippers. All right, and then here's a sewing extra special. The girl's blouse, I'm pretty sure. Soft look. I think it's the blouse and the two pieces. I don't know because I don't sew. And then there's a few more things here for sewing. I know some of you also do sewing as well, so. Okay. It talks about how to make drapery and curtain after all the extra stuff from the extra special for the sewing. And there's a few other ones in here too, all about how to make drapes or curtains. There's one's a patchwork quilt covered. I'm not going to show that one because it kind of gives more information that I want to show you guys on it. Here's one on designing your own towels, adding your own accent to it. And after that, it gives you the information on how to do that. This one here was quite interesting. My husband saw that and he goes, "What the heck is that?" So it's a rainbow bath mat made with pom-poms. That'd be really soft and squishy for that. I don't know what you would attach it to because you make the pom-poms, but I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it has you doing so you do need a fabric base like the needlework thing or something similar to that to sew them to. Alright, so I will show you here. So whoever had this originally must have sold it for like $3 at a yard sale, and then they didn't really want it, so, but here's the volume 1. Alright, and then the next book I saw was this one, and I don't know, I hate when people put stickers over top of the front of books. This is a book's, the price from Half Books was $9.99. I got this one for $6.25. Oh, let me show you the back of that one. So here's the back of that book. And you can see I paid $1.95. I don't know if you'll see that or not, but it was $1.95. I saw that. I'm like, I have to get it. I know I don't do everything in it, but it's nice to have. So this next one is called Vintage Modern Crochet. Classic crochet lace techniques for contemporary style. This one, like I said, I got this one. Original price was $24.99. I got it for $6.25. Sorry, something is bothering my eye. And again, I'm going to only show pictures of stuff that's been completed. This book, I don't think there was a date of when it was published at all. Of course, there's an introduction. And chapter 1 is all about the pineapple lace and how you can use that stitch. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this because this is not... So all these pictures here are things that were made with the pineapple stitch. This here, which was on the cover. This one here. The hat and the wrap here. And then they give each one of those has the pattern after the picture. It's very open. It tells you what yarn you need to use. It doesn't say exact. Well, the hat one, this one here, used Barico Vintage DK, 50% acrylic, 40% wool, and 10% nylon. But if you can't find this in your that specific yarn, you can actually go to a yarn substitution website to find that. It tells you what hook you need to use, their gauge, and it is worked from the bottom of the crown portion to the top. Then the head is turned and the band is added to stitching. Okay. See, that's one thing I haven't learned how to do yet. Well, I've learned how to do it, but not very cleanly, which is to start from the bottom of a hat and work my way up. That wrap was called Kidwell Garden Wrap. And again, it gives you all the information you need. This is the pineapple stitch again. This is a very thick book. I'm not going to show you guys everything from it. Talks about the edging. It gives you a diagram. If you know how to read diagrams, you can look at the diagram and do it that way. Or you can read the written instructions, or both. Sometimes, for me, it's helpful to read both the instructions and look if they have a diagram to look at that as well. Which is always nice, because if you can't understand it in the written, sometimes it clicks for me in the diagram. So, all right, and then there's the scarf. the other one that was in that picture. Sometimes I can see the pineapple, and other times I'm like, that does not look like a pineapple. I've never done the pineapple stitch, but alright. And then after the pineapple stitch, she's got, I have no idea, BRUGS lace. If anybody knows how to pronounce that, yay. If not, it's okay. This is chapter 2. And then these are the pictures that's made with this lace. It's really weird. I have a feeling that the necklace was the one of them. Maybe it's a really fine lace. Just go ahead through here. I mean, there's a lot of different, because she even has filet crochet in here too, the author. Here's an example. That shawl's filet crochet. I've always wanted to try that, but I don't know if I have the patience for it, because it does use really fine yarn. Now, some of these things are using DK weights, and some are using number 1 weight yarn, super fine, or lace yarns. I can probably do it if it's a lace, not a lace, a number 2. I actually do have some number 2 yarn here that I got at Hobby Lobby during one of their clearance sales. And I do like that most of these ones that are tops related have sections. You make the front, you make the back, you connect, and then there's even a section on iris lace. So I thought that was nice. This was an interesting book, and it gave me some ideas of things that I could make in the future. Not to say that I'll make them right now. All right, and then the last one is supersize crochet. Always wondering what to do with those big fat yarns. You're like, what am I supposed to make with this? This is too heavy for a blanket. This is too heavy for this. It's not the right softness for that. So I found this one. Now I don't know. I think it was $8.79 because it looks very similar. The sticker color is just a little different from the other ones. The other ones were white with orange line on it. This one's not, but they also have other books too. See it on the back there. Infinity Scarves and Beginner's Guide to Crochet. So, and this one, of course, like I said, is for the super bulky yarns. This is a really cool bag. Now you could use some of these ideas with smaller weighted, like 4 weight, 6 weight. Most of these I think are 7 weight yarns that they're using in these patterns, but I'll let you know if I come across one that's a different weight. This is actually a bag. There is a pattern for this in the back, towards the back of the book. Let's see. Alright, so here's one that was on the very beginning one. This one uses any t-shirt yarn as an alternative. It says spaghetti yarn, hooked spaghetti yarn in white and red. I'm not sure what spaghetti yarn is. I know I've heard of it. So I'm gonna show you the picture and not the pattern as best I can. Come on, don't want to show the pattern. There we go. Okay. So it says you can make this any size you want because you don't connect the hexagons till the end. So you just can keep adding them until you have the size that you need. I'm trying to see here. was trying to see here. I'm guessing this was something that came out when this book was out, first was released. That type of spaghetti yarn. I know that there was the t-shirt yarn that came out too. And then there's the zigzag blanket, which is basically a chevron blanket with the super bulky yarn. And this one says... Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, so I'm sorry if I butcher it, but it looks like Scholar and Stahl Samira. That's the name of the yarn. And then it gives you the different shades to get as well. And any alternative yarn and hook to match is appropriate for it. Okay, so here's a humble placement. Yeah, some of this stuff is using t-shirt yarn, and I'm going to show you something. There's the placemat. There's a little one and a big one in that, for that one. And a pet bed. It just stinks that even though it works up quickly for the thicker yarns like the 7, that it takes so even really too much to make a blanket, in my opinion. I thought this was cool. This is on the front of the book. It's a granny square. Well, maybe not. Let's see. It looks like it could be a granny square, but it's not. It looks like it uses the granny stitch in the rows. You can see that here. Just a second. I do like that some people are repurposing wood to hold. Oh, let me move that back. There we go. To hold their wall decorations. The only thing, in my opinion, would be to make sure it's clean of bugs. You don't want to be bringing bugs into your house. And then there's this Moroccan poof. It's basically a beanbag, in my opinion. Now this one doesn't. This one uses DK yarn and a bulky yarn. It's Tech yarn. I don't know if they're even in business anymore. I've never heard of them. I'll have to look them up. Oops. No, that way. Whoopsie. Yeah, but the top part of this is in DK, but this red here is the bulky yarn. Pretty cool. All right. And let's see. And then there's these baskets that you could make. I know a lot of people know how to make baskets already, but if you've got some extra big number 7 weight yarn laying around and don't know what to do with it, make some baskets. This one's got wood in it. This one's got wood, and the top one has yarn in it. Now, what I thought was interesting, now there's another blanket. There's a couple blankets in here. There's a pillow too, and a shrug, and there's that one. I wanted to see, where is that at? Where did I see? There it is. So, I know people talk about doing this, but what if your shirt has a design on it? Or it's just interesting. They have this at the very beginning and all the yarn and its substitutes. Homemade yarn, t-shirt yarn. I know I've heard people do old bed sheets, old t-shirts, old plastic bags. because they didn't have the money to spend on actual yarn. And, that's all good. It's all reused stuff. I don't know if I'd want to use plastic bags, though. But that's my opinion. Has anybody ever used a old t-shirt or bed sheets or even plastic bags to crochet with? If you have, let me know in the comment sections and what you've made with them. I'd be really interested to see what you guys have made with those items, especially plastic bags. I get that they're, universal and everything, and is a great way to keep down on the garbage that we're putting into the landfills and all that. But I've never done it. If I have to do it one day, I will, but I don't know what I'd make with it. So let me know in the comment section which book you liked the best, which one was interesting. If you have the Stitch by Stitch or the Super Crochet or even the Vintage Modern Crochet book, let me know if you've made any of the patterns in them, or if you just have them for reference. You could use them, with other stitches, other projects. Let me know. Alright, I will be putting at the end of this, no, not this video. And sometime this week, I'll put our fire pit at the end of the video so you guys can see. On the weekends, me and my husband sit out in the backyard and I roast marshmallows. My dogs eat marshmallows, and we're just chilling there out in the backyard for a little while. Nothing else around. I even leave my phone in the house. He brings his out, which is fine, but I try to leave mine in the house so I can enjoy the ambiance. Alright, well, tomorrow's video will be a walkthrough at Michael's and what I purchased. So I hope you enjoy that video tomorrow. If you like today's video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe and then a notification bell. And then select always notify so you're always aware of when I put out a new video. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe and stay crafty. Have a good one. Bye-bye.